Welcome everybody to this absolutely awesome Wednesday afternoon and team call, which we call the 30-Minute Mentor Series. We have a special guest today that we're going to be sharing. That's going to be sharing some amazing tips and advice with you guys. So I'll give her a proper introduction in just a little bit about her name is Ruth. But before then, we're going to do some announcements. I just want to remind you guys, I always get so fired up about my business. There's a couple things that fire me up about my business, and I hope you can take these into your life and into your business. It's when I do my workout, when I do a program start to finish, it gives me something to talk about. Like when I went through physical therapy the last 12 weeks, and my procedure is it was so hard. I still showed up, but I don't know what to talk about. But now, I do my core de force, I show a couple moves from it with my daughter, and I just get on and talk on YouTube, Facebook Live about it. It gives me something to talk about. And I see that transfer into my challenge groups, into conversations with my coaches. So remember, if you feel like you're in a rut or you're struggling, go start a program, do it start to finish, and just talk about it. Document your journey. Next thing I want to make sure you guys know about is Super Saturday is this weekend. Make sure, you guys are on this call because you guys want to grow business with Team Beachbody. So I'm saying, you're kidding yourself if you're not going to Super Saturday. Every Wednesday you've heard me say, go to Super Saturday, go to Super Saturday, go to Super Saturday. So here's your reminder again, go to Super Saturday this week. Anybody can go to a Super Saturday. A customer can go, a challenger can go, a coach can go, anybody. You don't have to be a certain rank or anything. All they do, there's going to be, so you can know what to expect, there's going to be a corporate video. There's going to be a couple people hosting it. They're going to celebrate some success stories. They're going to celebrate some weight loss success stories. There's going to be a corporate video announcing new products that are coming out and there'll be some success stories on there. And then most of them do a live workout. So you want to be there. But the reason I say it's so important, you get to be a part of the community. It's always gives you a bigger, deeper conviction about our purpose and mission when you get to be in person with somebody. And then the other thing that does is I always say we're teaching you to post on social media and do these invites and whatnot. And people, they tend to think or have this assumption we're some weird, super positive online cultish thing. So when you can go to Super Saturday, don't just go. Go there and heck, walk in the door on Facebook Live and show people what a Super Saturday looks like. When someone gets up and shares a success story, record them live. Say, here's an amazing success story with Beachbody. Go live and show it on your Facebook feed. There's so many things you can do. And what it's going to do, all these people you're having conversations with and inviting that are telling you no or not right now, they can see that this is something much bigger. So Super Saturday this weekend, I'm going to be in Queens, New York with Carl Deichler on Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm going to be up north in Tarrytown, New York at Super Sunday. That's where I'm going to be. Make sure you find out where your Super Saturday is at. If you don't know where it's at, ask in your team page. Somebody will help you. Or go to Coach FAQ, search Super Saturday, April 2017. There's going to be a link that gives you an interactive map that shows you where the local locations are at. So that's that. We're going to next announce Summit. It's the same concept as Super Saturday. You should definitely be there. I always say or share that my entire business is built on getting coaches to Super Saturday and to Summit. Along with all the other things we do, right? But that's one of the big things. I remember I couldn't go to my first year summit because I didn't have any more time off of work because we had our third daughter, missed some work there, was out of vacation. And I was I'm going next year. And I remember saying, I'm going next year and I'm taking 50 people with me. We took 53 people. And about 45 of them were from Idaho Falls. And there was carpooling and everybody going down, driving the 12 hours down there. But what happened is that 50 turned into 150 the next year, 300 the next year, 600 the next year, 800 the next year, 1,200 the next year, and who knows how many people are going to be there this year. So Summit is going to change your life. So if you're not registered for Summit yet, go check it out. You just just search Coach Summit, or the thing is Coach Summit 2000. Just is www.coachsummit.com. Go check it out. It's July 13th through 16th in New Orleans. It goes Thursday through Saturday night. And I want you guys to know that we have an event with Lindsay Matway speaking, myself, Miguel Carrasco, Christina Delgado, a whole bunch of us speaking on Thursday morning called Ignite New Orleans. The tickets sold out, 1,500 tickets in the first half day, but we're working on expanding the venue. So if you go on the team page and see that, or on my Facebook wall, go through my pictures or Miguel's, you'll find a link for that to get on the wait list if you want to come to that team meeting and training. But that's Thursday morning, and then Summit's Thursday night through Saturday night. Register, decide to go. And then the thing about making a decision, when you decide to do something and you're committed to it and true to wanting to do that, you'll figure out a way to make it happen. So you got like 4 months, a little less than 4 months to get people started, earn commissions, save money, buy your plane ticket, and room up with someone on this team, like split room with somebody, and let's make sure we get you guys there. So enough about that. Those are our announcements. And then, of course, just remember that we have our the promotion on the super exciting news about the on-demand all access challenge pack is on promotion from $199 down to $160. So it's going to be easier. It's just go watch some of Carl's videos and you'll see how you can talk about it. The National Wake Up Call. Go back to Monday if you haven't listened to it. Listen to Carl talk about it. Listen to Shalene talk about how to share about it in the right way so you're not salesy. I won't go into details about that, but go watch that National Wake Up Call again, listen to it, and then I want you guys sharing, going live on Facebook. Every one of you guys after this call or after you listen to that should go live on Facebook and tell a story and talk about what you do as a coach. So that's what we got for that, and I'm super excited now to get into the reason that you guys are here. You guys hear that same announcement every single week, but sometimes repetition is what we need. This week on the 30-Minute Mentor Series, we have Ruth. She was recently on the National Wake Up Call, which is what got my attention to where I'm like, I have to reach out to her because Ruth, honestly, you made me cry while I was listening to that National Wake Up Call. She's going to speak to us about getting honest with yourself in order to grow a business. She is currently in 2017 ranked in the top 10 of the Beachbody Network. So she's in the ranking for a top 10. We're rooting you on, Ruth. We want you to be a top 10 coach this year. She's a 2015 and 2016 top 25 elite coach. She's a 9-star diamond in her first business center, 2-star diamond in her second business center, a Success Club 10 all-star legend, an organizational leader, a 6-figure earner. And she started, get this guy, she started her journey in July of 2014. So with that being said, Ruth, I'm going to pass the time over to you and let you take it away.
Thank you for that introduction. Can you guys all hear me? Okay,
yes.
Cool. So as I listened to him say all that stuff about me, it's kind of like he's talking about a different person because I really haven't been a coach for that long, and I still completely remember the day I started coaching, and I remember being a new coach and seeing coaches who have the success I have now and just being like in awe and of those people. And so to hear him say all those things about me, like in my mind, I'm like, wait, who is that? Because I think, Scotty is hugely successful himself. And I don't think anyone ever looks at their success and sits back and says like, oh yes, that was me. And that was, like I am still in my mind, that new coach and that girl who is literally learning and failing and doing terrifying things every single day to help other people, to grow my business, to grow my team. And, this is actually kind of a surreal moment for me because when I, being on Scotty Hobbs' team call, when I came into coaching, Scotty Hobbs, Linda Matway, those names. And just to be here, it's like, what the heck am I doing here? So thank you for having me. But I want you guys to also see the reality of this is that, you guys have the potential to do the same thing. Like who's going to be speaking on my team's call next year when we are a top 10 team? Like that's what I want you guys to start putting in your mind is like, these coaches who we see are not special. We are not talented. We're not special. We didn't go to Beachbody College and get our degree in Beachbody Marketing 101. We are literally just people who I truly believe we all had something to lose if we didn't succeed. Like we saw our life going down a totally different and terrifying path, and that was absolutely me. And if you were on the National Wake Up Call, I'm not going to go into details, but you heard me talk about I was forced into action because I saw a future where my marriage was just falling apart under financial strain. I saw a future where I wasn't going to be able to be a stay-at-home mom if I ever wanted to be. I saw a future where my husband was going to be working 80 hours a week, having an on-call phone, and just never be present in his family's life. And that's what I saw in my future. And so while I was terrified as a new coach, I was even more scared of that future. And so, coaching, it was hard to build. It is hard to build. There are challenging days, but taking that route down the path of, having kids and having them see me and Ben fight every single day about money or our marriage failing, that in my mind was harder than building this business. So I went all in from day one, and I did a huge trust fall into coaching. And I'm going to ask you guys to do a trust fall today. If you guys will chat in, kind of like, are you a new coach? Are you a veteran coach? Have you been here for years, a few years? I want to know where you guys are at in all this. But I'm going to ask you guys, especially if you are newer, if you're just getting into this business, maybe you've been watching from the sidelines for a bit, I'm going to ask you guys to do a trust fall. And I ask you to do this because I know it's scary and I know it's hard and I know some of this stuff sounds just absolutely insane, like it's not going to work. And I also know, because I have been here for a while now, and I've seen so many different types of coaches build success, that success in this business is not limited. It is not limited to people with special talents or with abs or with time or with money or with all the right connections or resources. Success is available to anyone willing to work their butt off to make it happen. And so today I'm going to talk to you about a few of those things that are going to get in your way on the way to building your business. And also I'm going to ask you to take a really hard look at your business. Take a hard look and evaluate your business behaviors to see where you can improve upon them, where you could stretch yourself a little bit further, where you could grow as a leader in your team or a leader on your social media profile, and inspire others to change their lives in new ways. So first off, let's talk about the self-sabotaging stories before we get into the business evaluation. Self-sabotaging stories. We all have these, right? I believe they are born from fear, but we create these stories that sound so perfect in our head. It might sound like, well, I work full-time and I have 3 kids. Or it might be like, well, I don't have abs yet, so no one's going to want to be a coach with me. Or, well, I don't know anything about social media and I don't know anything about Facebook, and I really hate posting on Facebook. So I don't know how I'm going to actually grow this. I can probably grow a little bit, but not that much. We all have these stories that get in the way on our way to success. And the first thing is recognizing them. What are your stories? What are those things that you tell yourself every day? And I think some of it is, one I commonly hear is, I'm so overwhelmed. If you're a new coach, I am overwhelmed and I don't know what to do. And we have to catch these self-sabotaging stories and we have to stop them in their tracks, because those are happening because of fear, out of the fear of failure. Because I'm telling you, you have the potential to build $1 million business. It's in your hands. I know that Lindsay Matway and Scotty have created these amazing systems for you. I'm sure they are mind-blowing systems for you to learn from. So you have the potential to build that $1 million business. It's in your hands, but these stories are getting in your way of taking those steps or taking the steps to the next level. Maybe you do so much, but you don't go that extra 10% you need to go to really see the business growth. Maybe you hit Success Club 4 and you just stop there because, that's good, paid for half your Shakeology, whatever it is, and you just stop there. You stop at Success Club 4. Or maybe you stop at Success Club 5 because you did pay for your Shakeology and that's good, and you're just going to hang out there, while there's a million other people who still look in the mirror every day and hate their body that we could be helping. Or there are a million other people who are on medication or who are suffering from heart disease or diabetes that we could be helping with this business. So I'm going to challenge you to think about what your self-sabotaging stories are. What are you telling yourself every day when you get up? Are you telling yourself you don't have time, that you aren't good enough, that you're not a good enough leader, that you can never host a team call, that you can never do a live video, that you could never make a post sharing your past? Because these are all things that I guarantee you every single successful coach also once said, I could never do that, or I don't have time for that, or my life is too busy. And I always kind of like to look for examples in these things, because there will always be stories and excuses holding us back. But I have seen so many people overcome these stories and excuses to build their business, to continue serving others and helping other people in that building an awesome business. One story I always like to tell, his name is Michael Ullman. Some of you guys might know him. If you were at New Leader Conference this year, Michael Ullman, I'm not exactly sure when he started coaching, but in 2015, late 2015, he was diagnosed with cancer, an aggressive form of cancer in 2015. He has 2 kids. He has a full-time job. He has a wife. And in 2015, instead of using that as probably one of the best reasons ever to not work and to not help anyone else, I think if there is a reason not to do something, that's probably it. He used it as his reason to push forward, to show up every single day for people. So every single day, he would do his workout. Even on days when he went to chemo, he would post that on social media. He would share that. And, it's funny hearing him talk about it. He'll share and say, you know what? He'd say, you guys think I'm showing up for you guys, but really you guys are what is helping me show up. You guys are what's helping me stay in a positive frame of mind, helping me, continue to fight cancer every day. Like, you guys cheering me on. And he really dove into this business at the time when he could have used it as a reason to not do anything. And into 2015, 2016, he fought cancer all year. He also grew a premier team. He helped people succeed in their health and fitness. He helped people succeed in their business journey. And I always like to look at that story and think, anytime I'm having a bad day, anytime, I have a lot going on, it might be a lot of stuff. I always think about people like Michael, who have every reason to quit, but instead they use those reasons as their why. They turn those reasons into their why. And I've started doing that a lot in everything. Anytime that I should pull back from the business, like last July, we spent 2 weeks in Europe. We came back to Raleigh, North Carolina. We had 1 week to pack up our home into a U-Haul. Then we went to Summit, right from packing up our U-Haul, went to Summit, and then moved to Kansas right after that. 4 weeks, Euro trip, packed up our house, moved across the country and Summit, still rocked out the business. And my reasoning behind that, it wasn't to... It actually had nothing to do with me. I wanted to be successful that month because I wanted to show people that our excuses are invalid. Our excuses are a reason to succeed. Our excuses are the time when we can actually be the best example possible for anyone else and say, you know what? Yes, I have a lot going on. No, I don't have abs yet. No, I don't have training in social media, but I'm going to do this anyways. And it is a choice to succeed. It is a choice to dig your feet in deep, learn what you need to learn to move your business forward. So right now I'm challenging you to put those excuses and self-sabotaging stories on the table and recognize them, and then turn them into your reason to succeed. Turn them into your why instead of your reason not to do anything. This is going to create a trickle-down effect. One, for your team, and also for your challengers. When challengers come to me saying that they're traveling and they don't know if they can stick to the plan, I'm like, oh, please, I got this. I'll tell you what to do. Because I've done it. I have done it. So I can use that in my own coaching with my team or with my challengers. So that is our first step. Now, this next thing I want you to do, we're going to talk about, the vital behaviors, and I want you to really analyze your activities and get super honest with yourself. And again, I am asking you to do a trust fall, and I'm asking you to be honest with yourself, because that's who this impacts the most, is you. And you guys all have whys on here. You have a reason why you want to build this business or change your life. And this comes back to it. And the first step is getting really honest with yourself, because I work with a ton of coaches, and they'll tell me what's going on. They'll tell me what isn't working right. And I start asking them questions. And as I'm asking them questions, I'm digging into things that aren't actually happening, that they might have told me are happening, but then they're like, oh, but yeah, I didn't actually do that all the way. Well, I just picked out the power of 3. You guys might call it power hour, power of 3. I just picked out the invites I wanted to send, and it comes back that we're all kind of being dishonest sometimes with ourselves. And that's the worst person you could be dishonest to. That is, you're cheating yourself and your life and your family. And really the time you put into this business, if you're not committing to the process, you're cheating your time too. So I want to start by asking you to evaluate. First off, we'll just start simple. Personal development every single day. You will only grow your business as much as you believe you can grow your business. And that starts with personal development. I did not ever come into this business thinking I was going to be here 3 years later. Absolutely not. I thought I'd be lucky if I was making $50,000 a year, maybe. Lucky. But I found out it wasn't luck that gets you there. It's hard work. And it's by doing the process and by trusting the process. So personal development. Are you doing 15 minutes a day? Rate yourself. 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. You want to know if you're getting a 1? Are you applying it? Go to your social media profile. Have you talked about what you learned in your personal development? Have you talked about how it's helping you gain belief in yourself or how you can apply that? So it's not just listening, it's applying it. Just like Scotty said about the National Wake Up Call yesterday and Shalene's call. I listened to that. I haven't applied it yet, so it's pretty much worthless until I apply it. So I'm glad he said that challenge because I have a story. I've been thinking about telling it, but I was scared and I was all ramped up yesterday on my Energize and I didn't do it then. And so now, since I haven't done it, the fear has grown because I gave it time. Fear grows over time. To smash that fear, you just have to do it. So personal development, you are getting a 1 if you see it and you are applying it and you see it on your social media, you see it in your team page, you see it in your challenge groups. Are you sharing it? Are you actually putting it to work? 5, if you've done nothing, if you aren't listening to it, if you hit it maybe once or twice a month, not going to work. Our muscle or our brain is a muscle. We have to feed that every single day. We have to continue pumping it up because every day we're going to have challenges and self-sabotaging stories that are going to want to shrink us back down. And our weapon against that is personal development. The next thing I want you to evaluate is, are you being a product of the product? Okay. You are getting a 1 in this. Here's how you know. What program are you doing right now from start to finish? What day are you on? Have you posted your progress photos on social media this week? Are you following the nutrition plan? Are you making your own rules? Have you had your Shakeology today? I'm going to give you bonus points for Beachbody Performance Line. So go look at your social media, because if you are not posting on social media while you're being a product of the product, you are wasting your time. My Lord. And just like Scotty said, it's super easy to, like, this is how we share, right? Your business is so much easier when you're just being a product of the product. I'm getting ready to post my Body Beast progress photos today. And it's just an easy post to make. I don't have to think about it. I'm literally just saying, like, thank God I'm almost done with bulking. I've gained 10 pounds. Can we get this over with now? Let's shred. That's my real life feelings about Body Beast. And it's so funny that I can say I gained 10 pounds and I still have girls messaging me saying they want to do Body Beast now. I just told you I gained 10 pounds. So your post about your program, if you're following this, if you're doing number one, you're going to see the results your program should give you. And I should be gaining weight right now with Body Beast. It is working. But all you need to do is trust the program, do it to a T. If you are just choosing things on Beachbody on demand, you don't really have a story to tell, maybe you're following a nutrition plan, you're getting a 5. So even if you are working out every day with Beachbody programs and you're not following the nutrition plan, I'm still giving you a 5 in that. But give yourself a 5. Get real with yourself, you guys. It is a sexy 10 pounds. You're correct. I am ready to shred though. All right, let's talk about in terms of your inviting. Doing your power 3, inviting 3 people, growing your network every single day. So the first part is, I know that this is, for me, it was the scariest part. And for as new coaches, I know it's the scariest part for new coaches. And first thing in this is, do not ever overcomplicate this, right? We always say, like, I don't know what to do. I feel like I don't know what to do is equivalent to, like, it's the biggest excuse ever. I don't know what to do. Because you can go to YouTube and there's like 1.5 million amazing videos from other Beachbody coaches who literally have $1 million businesses, and they have spelled it out for you in pretty PowerPoints that I've never even given my team. I don't make PowerPoints, but there's a million on YouTube that I've showed them. And so I don't know what to do when it comes to inviting is just invalid. It's just an excuse. It's easy to say. And yeah, it's just, I think some people, it's just the best excuse ever for people that I don't know what to do. No, you can go find out what to do. I bet you've already been told, and I bet it's on YouTube. I know it's on YouTube. So in terms of your invites, I'm going to go over just a few tangible tips that I've started applying and things that I really hit hard on when I'm talking to people. First off is our mindset. And I have to keep mine in check. Man, I have to keep mine in check because I am like everyone else, where I'll let these little words creep in, and it sounds like this, like, oh man, I bet they're not going to say yes today. Oh, Sally just inboxed me back. I don't even want to open it because like she's probably saying no. Those negative thoughts, I have to keep those in check. And when I invite and when I get in this mode, I have to turn on my power music. I have to pump myself up and say, I'm going to change someone's life today. Sally is in my inbox. She is about to say yes. This is a day she's going to change her life. But so easily, I want to say, oh, do I want to open Sally's message right now? I bet it's another no. And I really have to keep myself in check. I've been dealing with this like the past 3 months. And I'm like, what is happening? Personal development, go back to that. I need to read GoPro again, or Go for Now again. But so first off, in terms of your invites, are you actually doing it every single day? And I'm going to talk about what a 1 looks like. All right. In terms of your invites, you're getting a 1 if you are in the mindset of everybody is ready to change their life today. This is something I have to fully concentrate on creating. I do not just wake up every day thinking I'm awesome and people are pouring into me. I have to create that mindset for myself every single day and force myself to say, everyone's ready to change their life. I'm pumped up to hear what Sally says back to me today. I cannot wait. The other thing you are to know if you are getting a 1 in this area, are you doing it every single day? And are you doing every step of the Power 3, the Power Hour process? So are you adding to your friends network every single day? Are you forming with people, building relationships every single day? Not in terms of like, hey, I can't wait to turn around and invite this person, but like literally meeting people online who you genuinely connect with, that you like get. They're your type of person. Like you're like, I want to hang out with this girl from Instagram and I cannot wait. So I do. I'm going to invite her to coaching just so someday I can hang out with her at Summit. That is it. Because I want to raid her closet. Are you expanding that network? Now I'm getting lost here. Inviting. I honestly, I focus more on the business side, which this has changed so much for me as a new coach. I kind of spaced it both ways, but I'm so passionate about what this business has brought into my life. I focus a whole lot on business invites. For some reason, it's also been easier for me. Business inviting, challenge group inviting. Are you doing that every day? And the last, fortune is in the follow up. Oh my gosh. 70%, I've crunched the numbers on this, 70% at least of the people who say yes to me each month are people who said no to me previously. That means if I'm not following up, no one's saying 3 people are saying yes to me this month pretty much. So it is all in the follow-up. But as you are going through these invites, a few things to remember. Are you following the 5-step invitation process? Are you starting by asking about their goals? And I'm going to challenge you to add a little extra on here. I started doing this last year and just really changed things in terms of getting to know my people. I say, what are your goals and why are those important to you? How is that going to improve your life? Those are my first questions to them. And sometimes, depending on like if I know this person or if I don't, I'll come back and say, like, I know that might sound weird, but I need to know like what's going to motivate you moving forward to reach your goals. And when I ask this question, don't be shocked if they take a little bit longer to answer you back, because you just complicated things for them and they really will think about it. And this is the cool piece of inviting where I get to figure out, like what is actually happening in their life. And I learn a lot about them. I just had a conversation with a girl whose dad passed away a year ago and she's dealing with depression. And when you hear that type of stuff, like to me, that's such a cool job. We have such a cool job. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I can't do that stuff for people, but I can be their friend. I can be that person to listen to them. I can be that person to cheer them on while they're going through this, to be that ear that hears them. That's super cool. We get to do that as coaches. The other thing I see a lot of coaches forget to do is end every single message with a question mark. If you are not doing that, you're not getting a 1 in this category. If you are not ending your every message with a question, you cannot have a 1 in this. Because here's what happens. Then you're like, they never messaged me back. Well, why would they message you back? You never asked them a question. Like, you left the conversation stale. And they were waiting for you, because you are the business person. They were waiting for you to initiate that next step. And every single conversation with a question. The third thing that you need to do in inviting to get a number 1 is, how are you creating that urgency in your messages? So I will tell you how I do this. I have challenge groups that start every 30 days. So like, we just kicked off on Monday. And one of my coaches asked me last night, they said, how do you create urgency right now? Your challenge group just started. Your next one's not starting for another 30 days. Like, how do you do this? So I'll tell you how I do it on a 4-week calendar. So we just started this week. So all week, this week, I'm creating urgency because anyone I talk to, I'm still letting them in my current challenge group that kicked off this past Monday. I'm saying, we need to get you in there now. We are going. We can still get you caught up. You're good to go, girl. We'll get you in here right now this week, but we've got to get going. Like, we've got to get you to your goals so you can get caught up in our group. So that's how I created this week. Next week, I'm creating urgency because my group will open the last Monday of the month. I create urgency next week because I always start with having 10 available spots to new challengers. So I will be saying, I have, 10 spots available right now. Should I reserve one for you? I know you, and I always bring up their goal when I'm asking them, I've got 10 spots going. I know this is going to help you lose X amount of weight or whatever it is. Should I reserve one of these spots for you? ? Should we go ahead and get you enrolled now? ? And I always ask for that. So I'm creating that urgency by my spots. And guess what? The next time I talk to them, I probably only have 8 spots left, and I'll let them know that. I still got 8 spots. Should I keep this one with your name on it? The next 2 weeks, it becomes super simple because I'm starting pre-week. I have a pre-week with my challenge group. So the next week we're opening for pre-week next week, where I'm going to help you meal plan and meal prep and introduce you to this program every day, step by step, tip by tip. You're going to want your program by next Monday. We need to get you enrolled today. Are you ready to do this? And then the third week, it's the same thing, except my kickoff is actually happening on that next Monday. So how are you creating urgency in your challenge group invites? The same thing goes for coaching. I have a new coach getting started right call every Tuesday. And I have a new coach academy call for my entire downline every Thursday. So those are 2 ways I create urgency in my coach invites. Hey, I've got a new coach getting started right call. We need to get you enrolled right now. I want you to meet all the ladies tomorrow that are going to be on this team with you. You want to meet these women. They're really awesome. Like, let's get you going. I also always take everything back to their motivation in terms of the business or in terms of challenge groups. Why are they interested? I'm going to talk to them about that. The other thing I will say about inviting and getting a 1, I think it's important, voice messages. I don't know how many people use voice messages on Facebook these days, but that has helped me build so many relationships, and people see you as a real person, especially when you're talking about the business, I know for me, I was super skeptical, but I voice message people a lot these days to build that relationship so they can hear me. And then as their coach, they feel more connected to me moving forward. Like, I'm a real person. I'm actually like talking to them now, specifically to them. All right. And then social media. Social media is our last place I want you to evaluate yourself. If you go look at your social media profile, how many times have you posted about your health in the last week? Where are you in this? If you're doing your workout every day, if you're doing your personal development every day, it's super easy to just pop on there. And every time, you don't need to say, I'm a Beachbody coach, look at me, buy P90X3 or whatever. No, just share your real life. Just share every single day something you're doing for your health and fitness. You're getting a 1 in this category as well if you are being vulnerable. There is a huge piece of social media that has to do with being vulnerable and sharing your struggles. And here's how I like to, kind of like the formula I like to use with anything, especially if I'm sharing a success, because I don't like sharing success. To me, it's very odd. It's like I'm bragging. But here's how I always start it. I always talk about who I used to be, what I used to think, the challenges I once faced, where I am now, and how Beachbody coaching or fitness programs help me reach that. So that's the steps I take in sharing and being vulnerable. So I will talk about the struggles I had in my marriage. I'll talk about our financial issues. I'll talk about how I used to look in the mirror and hate myself. But no one wants a cookie cutter coach or person. They want to know that you're real. They want to know that you've struggled. They want to know that when they come to you and say, I'm going through this, that you're going to be able to relate to them. And if you are getting a 1 in sharing on social media, it's because you are being vulnerable and you are sharing real parts of your life that you've struggled with, how you overcame it, and how Beachbody helped you to do that. Are you doing that at least 3 times a week on your social media? And the last thing with social media, you are getting a 1, and I'm always scared to say this on people's team calls. So Scotty, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but are you making a call to action during the week? I think it's important for myself to make 2 calls to action, saying I have this challenge group kicking off. So people know I'm a coach. And so people know I'm offering something to them. And I share in that call to action. I mean by that, like, hey, I'm starting a call to action, or like, hey, I have 10 spots available for my upcoming bikini boot camp. And then I go into my story. I share more about my story and the girl I was before Beachbody programs and how Beachbody programs have helped me. And then I say, send me a message, drop a comment, drop an emoji is something I've learned is easy for people to do because they're not saying I'm interested. They don't have to message you. They can just put a heart or a smiley face and none of their friends know what they're doing. So drop an emoji. But are you leaving calls to action so they know that you are a coach and you are available to them and to help them in that journey? So, and the last thing I want to leave you guys with is we tend to all underestimate ourselves and our story and who we are and what we can do for someone else, because it's really easy in this business to look at other coaches and think, oh, so-and-so is better at doing challenge groups than me, or so-and-so is better at doing this because they've been here longer, or they have this awesome PDF meal plan that they send to people. You guys should see how unorganized and unpretty all my stuff is. I'm doing okay. So don't ever compare yourself to anybody. And no, I truly believe God gave us each individual gifts to share, and those gifts are what are going to help you touch and reach other people. And there are a ton of other people out in the world who don't like Ruth Strauner. They don't like what I think or say or do on social media, but they need someone like you. They need someone like you with your story. And your story is what is going to bring those people to you. And I challenge you to share your story and share your honest truth on social media and in your invitations with people openly, and be that person and know that that is enough. And I will tell you this story. I was invited to a Beachbody infomercial years back, and I was there and I was so overwhelmed by the stories that were there with me. All these people who had lost hundreds of pounds or like lost the baby weight. And I didn't feel adequate being there. I was a girl who lost 15 pounds and got abs, like big deal compared to these other stories. I didn't feel adequate the entire time. And as I got to know the other people there was coaches and there was just customers, all of these people alike. And one day we were walking through the hotel lobby. And as we were walking through the hotel lobby, this man was standing outside the door. He was a huge man. Come to find out, he was the bodyguard. He was the bouncer for the filming that was happening inside this hotel room for the infomercial. And as we walked by, this huge man, about, I'd say probably 100, 150 pounds overweight, looked at us. He said, "Ladies, please be quiet. we're filming. And we said, oh, what are they filming in there? And we said, it's a infomercial. And he said, yeah, it's getting really heavy in there. This guy's crying a lot. I don't know what's going on, but he's crying. Well, we looked in the room. We knew who the guy was, and we knew his story. And we told this bodyguard the story of this man who had lost 100 pounds with Beachbody programs. And we told the bodyguard the man's story about how he went from eating McDonald's every day and thinking he could never lose the weight and thinking he could never have the body he had now. And, being this absent husband and father, we told this all to the bodyguard. And as we told this to the bodyguard, his face just lit up. His face just lit up. And you would think that it was Tom Cruise in there filming. And as this man came out of filming, the bodyguard went over to him. And the bodyguard knew that me and this other girl were coaches, and he could care less about us. He went straight to the man and he said, hey man, I've got to talk to you. I've got to know what you did. How are you doing this? How did you lose the weight? I sound so much like you. Like, you and me can be the same person, but like, look at what you've done. And every time I think about that story, I think, what happens to the bodyguard if this man doesn't share his story? If this man doesn't share his success with our programs with this man? Where is he now? I can't help that man because the man didn't want me. I wasn't what he needed. He needed somebody else, but someone out there needs someone like you. So I challenge and encourage you to share your story wherever you're at, whether you're in the middle of a 100-pound weight loss journey or whether you're at the end of it. Share that, and don't ever leave anyone wondering, what happens to that man if you're not that person for them. So that is it. That's all I have for you guys. And that's all.
Awesome, Ruth. That was awesome. You got me a little emotional a couple of times. I thank you so much for going into detail on the 4 vital behaviors, and not just like teaching them to us, but helping us understand like how we can rate ourselves. That was a powerful thing to me. And one thing that you worded in the beginning, I don't remember exactly how you worded it, but I remember how I felt when you worded it. It was like I think I commented something about perspective. Like, you really took the time to look at what your life would be like in the future if you didn't do this, where your life path would be. And as I think about it, that's what I did. And I don't think I've shared this enough with my team, so I wanted to share it with you and my team. I remember sitting at my job, working 12 hours a day, and I was a sweeper when I began. And when I left to do Beachbody coaching full-time, I helped run the service department, I ran the shipping department, and I wrote manuals. I did like 3 people's jobs. And I knew, because I went from sweeper to running those departments in 5 years, that I could be the head foreman. I could be the head engineer of the engineering department or head of sales in that company. But what I did is I looked at the lives of those people, what their life looked like, and they still worked in their 50s, mid-50s, late 40s. They still worked 12 hours a day. They still worked every Saturday. And no offense to any of them, but because they worked in the factory for 30 years, they looked 10, 15 years older than they actually were, and they were miserable every time you greet them in the morning. And I was like, that's what my life is going to look like if I don't change it. Like, I could become one of the top people in this company and have the salary that I want, what they have, from where I'm at right now. But do I want that type of life? Do I want my life to look like that? Is that how I want my day to be lived? And so when you said that, it made me really think about how I put that into perspective for myself as well. And I think it's important that each of us, as we go away from this too, take that action and really look at, what is my life going to look like 20 years from now if I don't change? And I think that'll have a lot of power to it. So once again, Ruth, we appreciate you so much for being on the call today. This will be recorded and up on the playlist on my YouTube channel under 30-Minute Mentor Series. So a lot of people are going to see this. So thank you for sharing that story. Next week we have, I don't know how to pronounce her name, so I feel bad. I think it's Lida Steele. She is also a 5-star diamond. She built her business in an inside leg to a 6-figure business, which I absolutely love hearing those stories. So she's going to be on with us next week. And then I want you guys to also no, Ruth, I'm going to say it. The man that Ruth was talking about is one of the customers in this team. His name's Jake. He lost 100. He went to high school with me, graduated with me, and he lost in our challenge group 107 pounds, I think it was, in about 8 months. So we're doing something incredible with our stories and sharing our stories and helping people. So Ruth, once again, thanks again, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Thank you.
Bye.